presents Fun with Writing. I'm John Hadaway. Today we're going to talk about the memoir or the personal narrative. And so when I kind of use those, I'm speaking synonymously. So memoir, personal narrative, we're going to stick with memoir, but for the most part, just they are about as synonymous as they get. So what is a memoir? Well, a memoir is a story about you and something else. Period. Okay? So, a memoir is basically a story about you and something else. It is not a biography, although it does have biographical elements. It is not an autobiography. Again, does have those elements. And the reason I'm saying that is that both a biography and an autobiography are a record of your life, or an individual's life. Memoir is going to be a story about you and something else. So, your story about you and something else. And what that could be, the something else, is anything you want, as long as it's a significant enough event or factor in your life. If I were to sit down and write a memoir, or to actually sit down and finish writing my memoir, or one of them, it would be about me and discovering that I have autism and learning to live with it. So really, it would be me and autism. What the memoir is about doesn't matter as much as you understand that it is about you and one other thing. Only one other thing. Now, you can explore that one other thing as many times and in as many ways as you want. The goal of the memoir is to then relate something that is important to you about an event or something else that has taken place. So, examples of what you can write memoirs about are you and going on vacation, or you and your best friend, or you and having gone to school, or you and an amusement park, or you and interacting with family, or you and insert whatever you need to here. When we look at a memoir, the memoir still has to follow the same basic principles of writing. So we still have to have an intro, we still have to have the body, and we still have to have a conclusion. And in a good intro, this is going to give us a clue, meaning it's going to basically hint or imply at what is going on, what we're going to get when we read the body. The body is the example events, and then finally the conclusion is what was learned. Okay? So, we give us a clue, example events, and then finally what was learned, or I guess we could also sit there and say what was experienced. So when we're writing the memoir, and as starting out, I'm going to suggest no more than 3 pages. What you're doing is you're basically saying, hey, I went on vacation with my cousins, and we went to the Keys, and we did this thing, and that thing, and this other thing, okay? So that's the introduction. The body is then the events that took place. So how did you interact with these events? And then finally, the things that are learned or experienced that is important about this. And so what we end up seeing, as with all writing, is that you want that laser focus. So we want to go from a broad focus all the way down so that it's pinpoint focused. Okay? And what that basically means is that you may have to go through this a couple times, but if you're going to use a vacation, so hey, we're going to go on a vacation, then you're not writing about you and the entire vacation. Sorry, nobody cares about you and the entire vacation. Rather, you're going to take an aspect. So that can be the drive, where you stayed, what you did. And if you go here, then it's only one thing, okay? So when you take an aspect, it can be the drive, where you stayed, what you did. So one small part about that. So this is the entire vacation, and this is the small aspect, okay? And you're going to just take that, and that is what you're going to explore. Okay? So if it's a drive, then the drive might be Georgia to Florida via, I don't know where you go. How many people get there? Maybe you went from Georgia to the Carolinas down to Florida via Cape Canaveral. Okay, so the various aspects of the drive then end up being the points that you are interacting with the vacation or the memoir piece. And so what ends up happening is with this memoir story about you and the something else is the drive, and the pieces of the something else may be stops, it may be historical events or places, it may be observations, it may be arguments, it may be waking and sleeping, I mean that cross-country type of drive, it may be all sorts of things. And so ultimately what you're doing with the memoir, and here we're saying memoir plus vacation, okay, is to determine what aspect of the vacation that you are writing about. If you were to take this to the next level, it would be memoir plus vacation, where you would then explore all aspects of the vacation, the car trip, where you stayed, what you did, the interactions with cousins or other people, going to the store, swimming, maybe the Charlie horse in the ocean, whatever. But that's an entire memoir of the entire event. What this means for you is that this is a story by you about you. So it can be told in the first person. So I, me, my. Okay. It doesn't have to be told in the third person, though you can go in that direction if you want. It is going to cover specific events in a specific order. So if you talk about the drive again, then leaving Georgia to go into North Carolina to South Carolina to Florida is the sequence of events. Or if it's where you stayed, then it's the hotel room and maybe coming and going from the hotel room. If it's, what you did, then you just have to figure out the sequence of events of what you did while you were on vacation and then relay that in an orderly way. And in this case, what you're always going to deal with is a top-down hierarchy. Okay, so top-down. This happened, then that happened. And this is the best way to go about when it comes to just, hey, I don't really know what to do. This happened, then that happened. Okay, so this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. And from all of this, this is what I learned, this is what I experienced, this is why I would suggest you go out and do it too. That's it. So, memoir. Personal narrative, it's basically you writing about yourself, but you writing about yourself in a very specific set of circumstances. All right, well, that's it for this time. We'll see you in the next video. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.